Georgia once again thrust into the national political spotlight. Our state mentioned in the new federal indictment alleging former President Donald Trump tried to overturn results from the 2020 presidential election. The former president now has a court date scheduled for tomorrow in Washington, D.C., where he will be arraigned. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live tonight explaining how this latest indictment could impact Trump's pursuit of a second term in office. Doug.
Right, well, the new federal indictments focus on the former president's efforts to overturn the election results in 2020, and it's the very same conduct being investigated here in Fulton County, where we could be just days away from another round of new charges. The four new federal crimes brought Tuesday against Donald Trump focus on the events of January 6, 2021, when the former president whipped up his supporters into a violent insurrection with claims that his re-election was stolen from him.
It was fueled by lies.
Special prosecutor Jack Smith claims the former president knew what he was saying was false. Lawyers for the former president say he did nothing wrong.
This is an attack on free speech and political advocacy. And there's nothing that's more protected under the First Amendment than political speech.
But a First Amendment defense may not work for Trump if he knew his statements were lies, says Georgia State law professor Clark Cunningham.
Let's suppose that I think you've stolen my television, right? I can't break into your house to get the television back, right? I can't commit a crime even if I believe I myself have been the victim of a crime.
And saying he was just listening to the advice of others also may not work for Trump if his allies and attorneys also knew claims of election fraud were false.
Lying isn't protected by the First Amendment in that way, not when the purpose of the lying is to commit a crime.
The new federal crimes could look very similar to charges being sought here in Georgia over Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election at the state level.
Trying to pressure state officials to break the law, getting these people who were his loyal supporters to cast fake votes for him as electoral votes. Those were crimes.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis could be just days away from a charging decision, which he said would come before the end of August. And, the new federal indictments could really hurt the former president's re-election bids. Prosecutors in D.C. have called for a speedy trial, and they actually could get going before the 2024 election cycle, maybe even the 2024 GOP primary begins. We're live outside the Fulton County Courthouse tonight. Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.